I brought some teens. I know there's other teens in the room, and they get pretty angry when they find out they're being marketed to heavily. Obviously, the big question is, why do we allow nicotine? Obviously, nicotine's a poison and addictive. But what we're really concerned about, I know they watched Legacy's webinar, and the FDA didn't seem concerned about regulating or banning flavors for nicotine products. That was a big thing, because to me, if it's a cessation, why are we having flavors?
Right.
So what's your stance on that?
Well, I spent 7 years of my life at the Food and Drug Administration, right? It's a regulatory public health agency. In the world of regulatory public health, believe it or not, things take much longer, okay? So I wouldn't say they're not interested in banning or doing something from a regulatory perspective with flavorings, right? With the whole menthol issue, for example. What it takes is a long time to get this through a regulatory pathway that does several things. It has to appease the legal side of the house, which means anytime a movement comes out of Food and Drug Administration or out of the government, you're going to have a lawsuit. And the question is, you want to have enough evidence to be able to win that lawsuit. So that slows down the process, right? So, we would love to come out and say is, okay, we know, anecdotally, or we have some information. The reality is you have to realize that we have to think not just what can be done immediately, but how this is going to play out in the court system, right? So it takes a while to gather that data to have that defensible regulatory pathway. Okay. That's first and foremost. The second part of this is the fact that Capitol Hill is always interested in anything that comes out of Food and Drug Administration. You have to make sure that Capitol Hill is on board with at least being notified of where paths are being taken. So it's, my sense is I think we're going to be seeing a whole lot more from the Food and Drug Administration. And again, I'm not defending the idea that things take long. What I'm trying to do is explain it away, is that any move by us in the government from a regulatory perspective will undoubtedly be met by lawsuits. And that only extends it. And what we want to do is we want to make sure we win those lawsuits at the end.